Grandma, no! All right, well, good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. It's Thursday morning. We're at the hit the road, heading out to Louisville for the MidAmerican truck show tomorrow and some bourbon tasting today. So come along with the ride and let's do this, guys. In the great state of Michigan, it is currently 29 degrees. So we're gonna watch this too. We're gonna watch the thermostat go up. Well, we made it to Louisville, and we are on what they call Bourbon Row. And I will tell you this right now, the smell of it is amazing.
I think the best place to really kind of start talking on this tour is our grain room over here. So if y'all want to follow me this way. Because again, I mentioned that what we really kind of pride ourselves on are our variations. If you didn't see them, feel free to look through the ceiling panels up there, back towards the lobby and to the right. You can kind of see them sitting up there. Those silos, they're holding all of our main grains. They're holding things like in the room here. If you notice these down here, these are new single barrels that we are sending out to distributors a little bit later. That's what they have been working on all day today. Probably going to be working on tomorrow as well. But the line itself came custom made for us from an Italian company called GAI. GAI, they specialize in wine bottles, but they do a great job for us. When this line is running at full speed, we can do about 30 bottles a minute, 300 cases per hour, and running at capacity all day, we can do close to about 7,250 bottles a day. Now, that may sound like a lot, but if you go to some of those bigger guys on the trail, you will hear some pretty astronomical numbers. With that in mind, though, we're not a small craft distillery either. The reason I say consider is because when you talk about like your char levels, where you're usually talking about is like a gaslit flame underneath, it really just kind of shoots into the inside of that barrel and chars the inside of it. But Kelvin, they do things a little bit differently. They actually use wood-fed fires over there. And it's a really interesting process. So when the barrels are brand spanking new, they put those barrels on a nice little platform and they put that small fire underneath it. They actually use the extra staves from all of our single barrels. We always pair with like a third party first to give the theme, and they give us a couple different renditions of the theme. So all of the next talk about the moving around downstairs, but that is his command center where you look to keep on the entire operation. Alright guys, so directly to my right over here is our 8,000-gallon cooker. As I mentioned earlier, here's the second half of that chain link system. It brings all of those grains up and then drops them into this yellow funnel right over here. Now all that's happening in this process, to keep things simple, is here just converting the starches from grains like corn over to simple sugar. So we're bringing in those grains one at a time, adding a little water and manipulating the temperature. Then after about 6 to 8 hours, we're going to move to one of these 9 fermentation tanks directly behind you. I think he's just cleaning. Justin, you just cleaning there? You guys want to take a look inside? Yeah. Just to see kind of how big those guys are. That's large. Oh yeah. Okay. It's like a giant. It's like a giant.
Holy moly. I've had worse.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More of a Busch Light guy myself.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like a flat beer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But the reason it's getting more bitter and sour is because that yeast. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Woo.
Oh yeah. That was awesome.
One time last week, there's like an old grandma that like couldn't get her hand in there, so I like dipped in there and was like, you can tap it on my finger, and she walks up to my hand and like,
Grandma, no!
it happens.
Hands down, the interactive aspect of this way better than the other.
But if you notice, it's got a little bit more bitter, a little bit more sour, right? Each one of these tanks, by the way, is about 8,000 gallons, just like our cooker. They're about 15 feet deep. You can kind of look down through the grates, see how far down they go. You get about 25 to 28 barrels per tank. So we'll take the 8,000 gallons that are in here. We'll run it through those 2 stills, and we'll concentrate it down to about 1,300 gallons of usable distillate. Some very, very expensive tanks, right? Oh yeah. I feel like I have like that 3 times. But as we keep moving down a little bit, you got a little bit of heat coming off this one just because of the low ceilings here. But again, almost no movement on there, no CO2. That's beer. Oh yeah. Good old 3-day-old beer at this point, right? Have fun.
Oh, that reminds me of my college days.
Oh, I'm saying, dude.
Oh, you know.
A little bit, right? And then, so again, these ones here, at the very end of the process, if we move over, we see one right at the very beginning, and just finish filling it up. Looks a little bit different, right? Smells a little bit different. If you go over one more, if you notice this light cloud-like substance over the top, that is the yeast starting to form a little bit. If you try this one actually tastes good. Tastes like oatmeal, granola, Cheerios. Sweet, right? And the reason it's so sweet is because right now it's all simple sugar. That yeast hasn't even started converting anything over yet. Our brains guy, Greg, he told me one time that if you ever forget,
Chop that.
he comes up here with a bowl and a spoon. But again, so that white cloud-like substance, that's the yeast starting to form, and then when it starts to activate, it looks like a lot like number 1 over here. So you start getting a little bit of that heat coming back, tiny little bit of CO2 coming off there again. That one actually got me a full bit. Oh, you really got to get in there for this one. Woo.
Oh,
yeah. It'll get you sharp, a little sharp, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you try this one, it's still going to be sweet, but you'll notice like the tiniest little hint of bitterness to it as those simple sugars start to get converted over. A little bit. It's got a little tiny tang to it. So this one here, this one is about like 13, 14 hours in. So really that reaction process for the yeast kind of starts right at about the 13, 14 hour mark. Because what we'll do is we actually run cooling coils through all of these tanks to help stabilize these ferments. So at the beginning of the process, alright guys, so this right here is our 125 low line distillate. So that vapor that gets ready to column still, this is where it's going to get recondensed at. The way that we recondense it is this tab. As a tribute to the history of bourbon whiskey makers that really kind of came before us. Because bourbon is the native spirit to the U.S., and that's great. That doesn't really mean it's always been the favorite, you know. There's a time period that started in the early 70s and made its way to about like 15 years ago, where people did not want to drink dark spirits, you know. People want to drink clear spirits, mainly vodka. That market pressure really kind of put the industry here in the state of Kentucky a little bit on the brink. My dad's side of the family is actually from Hartstown. My papa, he was a bottling line technician at Burial Park for about 45 years. My grandma, she's a Go ahead, pick it up and nose it. When you nose it, feel free to keep your mouth open. Kind of gets the ethanol out of the way a little bit. But on that nose for me, I get a little bit of honey, maybe some spice. Some people get a little bit of fresh fruit like green apples or pears. Some people, they just smell whiskey, right? Alcohol. Hey, it'd be a problem if it didn't smell like whiskey, right? You know? What are you guys getting on that nose? Anything interesting? Whiskey.
Yeah,
hey, you're hired. You're right.
A little bit sweet.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a little sweetness
Sweet
in there
notes?
somewhere.
Yeah. Well, feel free to go ahead and take that first sip. First sip's always the hardest. But I always get right off the bat, I get a little bit of spice. Right as it hits that palate, starts to work its way down. Though you start to get a little bit of those honey notes, some of those toasted grain notes. Gets to your chest, you get a little bit of warmth there from that wheat. But once that warmth subsides, you can pick up a lot from those toasted and charred barrels we were talking about downstairs. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel right there at the end. What are you guys getting?
Yeah,
Spice.
there was
Lots of spice.
yeah, no, the vanilla.
A little bit of vanilla there for you. Whiskey.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Hey, I will say with a Cave Hill, that nose is a little bit lighter, right? And the only difference between these two is that 25% malted rye. It's the same age, same process, but a little bit lighter on that nose. I get butterscotch, a little bit like a Werther's candy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
now
yeah.
you say it.
The placebo effect, right?
Yeah, yes.
As my drunk friend once said, the gazebo effect.
The gazebo.
The gazebo.
Yeah. But if you take a sip of this one, you'll notice how those grains even change the texture. It's got a very buttery, very oily viscosity. It kind of melts to your tongue there. Might even notice a pulling sensation. Starts at the side of your tongue to go to the very tip from those rye grains. A little bit of caramel right up front and some pepper. Starts right up here and slowly works down your throat from that rye. Some people get a little bit of citrus on that front end, a little bit of orange. I've heard that before.
A little bit of bitter on the aftertaste, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. You should see the tasting card we have for the High Gold. It says comforting pepper spice on the end. But the first two, which one do you guys prefer so far?
I'm liking the
Cave
second
Hill.
one.
Really? You
High
like
Gold,
the second
Cave
one?
Hill?
I like
Yeah.
the Cave Hill.
Hey, that's what we're here for, you know? That's why we try to do those different recipes, you know?
Smells better.
I think I would probably drink more of the High Gold because the Cave Hill is such like the High Gold's not like a smack in the face.
Yeah.
It's a little easier.
And that's what I find interesting about the two of them. So, like, usually with, like, a high rye bourbon, you're expecting that pepper spice from the rye to kind of get you on the front end. But we think by malting that rye ahead of time, it really kind of mellows it out in a lot of ways. So you don't really pick up the rye spice until the finish there at the end. But I like the Cave Hill as, like, my go-to on the rock sipper. I think the High Gold works really well in things like Old Fashions because it's got that sweetness right up front, a little bit of spice and bitterness right there at the end. Embry out there, she makes a pretty mean Old Fashioned. She uses the High Gold, a little bit of orange liqueur, some Angostura and orange bitters, and it's top-notch. Oh, yeah. But I'll give you guys a little backstory on the name High Gold. So High Gold is actually named after a German immigrant. There was a stonemason here in Louisville in the 1800s, Christian High Gold. He was pretty impactful. A lot of his masonry work featured a lot of like very patriotic imagery. Just because when he immigrated over here, he did not see himself as like a German immigrant. He saw himself as an American citizen, as American as anybody else. And if you actually go a little bit past the walking bridge on River Road, right off Frankfort Avenue, you'll run to like the facade of the front of a house. It's called the High Gold House. It takes like 5 seconds to drive by, but it's there as a tribute to Christian High Gold. As I mentioned earlier, our founder Kaveh was born in Iran. When he was a kid, him and his family, they fled from Iran, from the Iranian Revolution. When he moved here to Louisville, he heard about Christian High Gold, an immigrant, coming to the city of Louisville and having an impact. It just kind of resonated with him a little bit. So just kind of paying homage to that story there. Next up, we're going to be stepping off the bourbon trail for a quick second to try a rye whiskey. So this is our Boxer Grail. This is what was in those cocktails we started out with downstairs. It is a 95% rye, 5% malted barley recipe. Some people hear 95.5 rye and they get a little bit nervous because rye grains are a harsher, earthier, spicier grain. But if you nose this one, it's got a little bit of that spice, but it's kind of like a sweet spice, like a baking spice, like brown sugar a little bit. I hear clove sometimes on that nose. People tell me that.
I almost smell like
It is?
apples.
It is
Apples?
sweeter,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did smell like an apple, yeah.
A little bit sweeter for you, a little bit of apples. Hell yeah. If you take a sip of it, I find that it's like very floral, very herbaceous right up front. But what I love most about this one is its finish. It's so unique, so distinct. It's got like a black tea leaf, maybe even like black licorice or anise right there at the end that I just find so different for a rye. Oh yeah.
Wasn't bad.
Oh yeah. I will say if you add the water to it, it will spice it up a lot more.
Oh,
Oh, it's kind. I always think it's kind of interesting to see how it does it. Like, feel free after you add that water to even nose it again. You'll notice that the nose completely changes on it a little bit. A little bit.
It's more.
About 106.7 proof on that, so a little bit higher proof as well. If you guys want to go and pick it up and nose it, that nose is a little bit different, right?
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
it's a little bit different, right?
I wish that could be a can.
I get a little bit of like peppermint and ginger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is cool. I like that.
Yeah, oh yeah. People say it reminds them of like a Manhattan in a bottle a little bit. If you take a sip of it, I find that it's like very dry on that front end. Kind of reminds me of like dried grapefruit or plum. But the finish is what I love. It's got like a very like cinnamon forward finish, maybe even a little bit of nutmeg right there at the end.
Ooh, a little spicy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super interesting, right? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna buy one of these.
And I will say, like, they do come in the 375s, but after tax, these things, they only run for about $53. So
Okay.
I think it's a pretty good bang for your
I just
buck.
like the way the bottle, I like the colors on the bottle.
Oh,
are
yeah.
kind of cool looking.
Oh yeah, and so like what this is like the whole distillery series, which is what this is a part of, that entire lineup. Once we got happy with the core 4 recipes, what Kave did is he asked our distillers to kind of experiment with different finishing barrels on those core mash bills. So like we do them as kind of like one-off series. So we make a batch of something, then we like don't sell it again once we've ran through that batch. So some previous ones we've done, we did our high gold recipe finished in 4 square Caribbean rum casks before. We did our Cave Hill mash bill finished in maple brulee barrels before. We did the rye whiskey mash bill finished in cognac barrels before. So we've done a bunch of little fun things with them, and I have been dumb enough to not to buy a bottle of each one as they've been released. But
All right, so we're live. We made it here to the MidAmerican Truck Show in Louisville, Kentucky. You ever want to walk underneath a semi-truck? Love it. Love the color. Good.
YouTube channel, podcast.
So what's the YouTube channel?
What's the YouTube channel?
What's
Three
the-
Fat Truckers.
Three Fat. All right.
And I'm out of air fresheners because I have fat chick air fresheners. They smell like fat chicks. I'm out of them at the moment. Everybody
it.
goes, "What's a fat chick smell like?" I said, "I don't know." Till you open it, you got it. Could be bacon, could be potpourri, could be boob sweat. I don't wonder you're out of them. They smell like bacon. Huh?
You get better after a beer.
No, it gets worse after beer. This is normal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
Everyone in the restaurant usually hears
It is what it is.
We have to go. Oh, is that a Western?
Western Star 5700.
No, it's a 40.
Oh, 57X.
40. No, it's a 47.
Yeah, this is a 57.
Oh, it is a 57.
Cascadia, yeah. It's just a bougie Cascadia.
Oh, yeah, and then this gives you like almost a queen size bed in here.
What is this truck called? Sorry.
It's just a Cascadia with a very large sleeper and a toilet.
Man's photo.
Nice to meet you, man. Safe travels out there. Lower price see what we can do. $14 and everything like that. You gotta make money too. You gotta make money.
Oh, okay. Boo.
They have the last W9 is right in front of us. That green W900. That's the last one.
No, not. They're doing a legacy series. I just saw it on the.
Yeah, that's it. Like that's the. They're
doing
making
a
like
series.
1,000
Yeah,
of them,
1,000. Yep.
and then it's going to the W990.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that big old PACCAR engine in her. But hey, I don't know nothing about these. There it is. Oh, it's a Cummins.
What else would it be?
PACCAR. I mean, it's got a PACCAR filter right there. Yeah, this is. I was just watching a thing about it. It's like number 1,000. I can't tell you who I work for.
Yeah, it should be red.
Yep.
Oh, I like yellow.
Good love. You able to get up in there?
Absolutely.
I can't tell you who I work for though.
Where'd you go?
Oh shit. W900. VNL 860i.
Never mind. This one's spec'd up with the normal Volvo suspension. There's an alternative suspension on these new bodies that supposedly rides like a dream. Like it's like next level, but this is the same suspension my trucks have.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a different kind with dual shocks. I was hoping it was going to have it, but I can't improve on perfection.
Yeah, my friend, this is Volvo. This one, yeah. I mean, I like it. Well, sure as shit it is.
Look up Bruce Wilson. I watch him on YouTube. Okay, so you know, you've seen it. Yeah, it's.
Oh, go ahead. Are they allowing people up in? Oh my God, they are. Oh, that's why I got that one. And people are standing right in front of it. It's all right. Trust me, I'll edit it out. I'm sorry. This thing got any air in it? Oh my goodness. All right, we gotta try to stand up in this thing. All right. Oh man. All right, I'm 6'1", I can do it. It's not bad. That's Scania. I just do a reverse one where I keep on sending it until you pay me. Is that a Freightliner Century? I think it is. Oh, I guess this one is a straight truck. Oh. Oh no, it is an Arcasí. You guys the owners? Yeah. Beautiful truck. I work for Freightliner.
Sweet, thank you.
No habla English.
You don't want to say that right now.
Well, thank you everybody for watching this video of our great trip to Louisville, Kentucky. It was a great trip, and I cannot wait for next year. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one, and I promise it won't be as long.